All right, boys, let's get to Anthony Richardson. Honest to God, I didn't even want to do a player spotlight on him because I just don't like him. But I have to be fair. I have to be objective. So we're going to break him down. Here's my player spotlight today. Anthony Richardson.
AR-15.
I can't say that anymore, by the way. You'll get canceled. Careful.
Oh, all right.
Don't say that shit. Anthony Richardson. Okay, look. I can point out the 53% completion percentage. I can point out that he threw 17 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. I can point out that he was inaccurate as hell. I can point out that he's got a cannon of an arm. But when we talk about quarterbacks, statistics, intangibles, arm strength, honestly, all don't fucking care. All don't matter. It just doesn't. So what does he do well? Let's start there. Let's start with the positives. Well, he's got a cannon of an arm. He is an absolute athlete.
Yeah.
He is built like you could say a tight end even. 6'4", 232 pounds.
Got a little Cam Newton in him, just in terms of height and weight.
A lot of positives.
Yeah.
All right, what's the downside? Right? Inaccurate. Very inaccurate. But where does that stem from? See, he's not an inaccurate thrower. He's just not a groomed quarterback. And again, I'll only speak from my experience and also my perspective. If you want to be an accurate quarterback, if I were to teach somebody today how to be an accurate quarterback, I don't start here, and I don't start with the hands or the arm. You start with the feet. And his feet are all over the place. He's got happy feet. He's got penguin feet. He is exactly what you call a project in the NFL. Your footwork as a quarterback is what saves you in the NFL. It's what makes you elite. Nobody talks about it. We take it for granted. We take for granted all these elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now that just drop back to pass, 3-step, 5, 7-step drop, no problem. Step in and out, side to side in the pocket, no problem. You even look at Bryce Young, by the way. You want to give a knock on Bryce Young? Go look at his feet. There are a lot of touchdowns and a lot of passes he threw this year. Stepping into the pocket, ready to take a sack, bounced off a lineman.
Yeah.
And because he's an athletic, specimen,
Off
he
script
was able to
bit.
make a play off script. That's not ideal, though. That's not what I want. That's Anthony Richardson as well. Happy feet scares the living hell out of me, but does it scare me away from 6'4", cannon arm, athletic? That checks boxes, guys, that NFL teams want. Whether I want it or not is not important. What's important is he will be a first-round pick, likely. If I'm the GM of 32 teams, he's not a first-round pick, but I'm not. But what he is a physical specimen. He's got elite arm talent, which everybody loves, everybody falls in love with. And the truth is, there is going to be a team because there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams that need a quarterback right now. Somebody's going to sit there and say, you know what? He's not a first-round talent coming out right now, but why would we draft him in the first round? See, you guys think, a first-round pick, he's going to start. No. We leverage the first round as GMs in the NFL because we want that fifth-year option. And that is the only reason he's going to go in the first round. If it happens between 20 and 28 or 30, 31, somebody moves up, it'll happen because they want the leverage of a fifth-year option so they can sit him the first year, and damn it, if they have to, they will sit him the second year. This is a complete project. I avoid him if I'm the Lions, even if the Lions have one of the better situations in the NFL for a rookie quarterback. To me, I need a guy that can play the quarterback position first and then be an athlete. Not an athlete who then plays the quarterback position. I know you guys think I don't like black quarterbacks. I know this is a common theme here on the show. It's just not true. But the reality is, he checks all the boxes that don't matter to me. I don't want my quarterback to have the strongest arm in the game. I don't. I want him to be accurate. I want him to be cool, calm, and collected. I want him to use his feet well. I want him to be very educated. I want him to understand the game of football from a quarterback perspective, because as a quarterback, you are responsible not just for yourself. You're responsible for the other 10 individuals on the field. And not only the other 10 individuals on the field, you are responsible to diagnose the other 11 on the opposite side. Quarterback's the hardest position to play. I'm not going to sit here and say Anthony Richardson won't work in the NFL. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. What I am going to do is say for the Detroit Lions, I pass. But to understand what he does well, look, he checks off boxes teams fall in love with. Arm strength, size, mobility, athletic. Teams love that. And teams do believe at times, hey, we can bring him in here and teach him the feet. Teach him the footwork. Teach him the game. Easier said than done, but teams can really talk themselves into doing that.
Yeah.
That's what the Bills did. Josh Allen. Look, coming out, he was awful. No footwork. He struggles with it today, by the way.
He still does, yeah.
And it's why he turns the ball over so much. So, look, for me, Anthony Richardson, intriguing prospect. I'm avoiding him if I'm Detroit. If I'm realistic, he does get a first-round grade only because teams want that fifth-year option on their quarterback, especially a quarterback like Anthony Richardson, who you are probably going to sit the first year. He's not ready to come in day one and play in the NFL. Jeff, thoughts?
I agree with a lot of what you said. There's a lot to like about Anthony Richardson. I just think watching him at Florida this year, the lows scare me. And I think that's really the answer. And that's why sitting him is the obvious route to go. He's not ready to play right now. Had like a 50% completion percentage at Florida this year. It's not good. You're typically looking at guys like Josh Allen. He had a 50-something completion percentage, I want to say. You're looking at guys that are 60 and above. That's typically what you're looking for in quarterbacks coming out of college. But again, there's no reason why a team won't reach for him. I mean, he's got all the upside. You look at his arm, his athletic ability. Again, I would say most, if not all, teams feel like they can fix any issue with quarterbacks. Like that's a lot of it. Well, Anthony Richardson, if he comes into our program, we could fix these things. The question I have about Anthony Richardson is, will the highs, if he gets to what we think he is, or what many people think he is, will the highs outweigh the lows, right? Like you've seen games. There's games where he was 12 of 35, in terms of attempts and completions. Like it was bad. You've seen a lot of lows out of Anthony Richardson. So that would be the question I ask: is if he hits that peak, is he one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL? And that's a question that a lot of teams are going to have to ask, but there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be a first-round pick. Just looking at the quarterback field this year, I mean, you're seeing him projected higher than some other guys, even if you think they're better.
Two comments I have to get to. We'll start with Keaton Ruttinger. If you were forced to draft Richardson or Malik Willis in the first round and you can't pass or pick anybody else, who are you taking at him? Honest to God? Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I would take Richardson.
Like I said, bigger, Anthony Richardson checks off arm. Way more boxes than you could ever dream of Malik Willis could. All right? That's number one.
Absolutely.
Number two, I'm not saying he's a shit on or that he won't work. What I'm telling you is not my type. Just not my type. Now, again, can you teach accuracy? Well, in theory you could, but I've watched the Bills fail to do it with Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not ideal. Now, Josh Allen is a physical specimen. He's unbelievable, cannon arm. He's gotten much better. But even he can't be Superman, and I don't want my quarterback to be Superman. I want my quarterback to be cool, calm, and collected. Who, when the game is here, he's here. And when the game is here, he's here. That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Having said that, the second question, Cam Newton had a below 60% completion percentage. Oh wait, that was your point.
Well, those are the two guys.
Can we not
Josh,
with Cam Newton?
Cam Newton
was the single greatest college football player ever for a single season when he got drafted. He had the single greatest season by a college football player probably in all of college football history. He took Auburn. He didn't just take Auburn. He carried Auburn to a national title.
Yeah.
Went to Florida, went to, I think, JUCO or I think he went to JUCO. And then he went to Auburn, and the rest is history.
I'm pretty sure he won at JUCO, too.
I don't want to hear it. He did, by the way.
He just won anywhere he went.
Cam Newton, totally different story. Because he came out and threw for 4,000 yards year one. Anthony Richardson's not ready to come out year one and do any of that. That's the problem.
Right.
And you know what's the problem with Cam Newton? Cam Newton came out, was like this, and once he got to the Super Bowl and had that MVP season with the top two defense, all the interceptions, all the completion percentage
he had some
issues,
injuries.
all the footwork, all the liability with how much he runs, it all just unraveled. Cam Newton, for a 3-4 year stretch, was a very, very good quarterback. I would even say excellent.
Yeah, MVP.
He was an MVP. Longevity issues, footwork issues, turnover prone. What do you know? It always comes back to haunt you. I want my quarterback's fundamentals to always check the boxes first before we check off the arm talent and all the sexiness. It's my preference. It seems to work more often than not. My preference does, at least in the NFL, more than this arm talent stuff, because I hear this every year and it never works. And Zach Wilson had amazing arm talent.
Remember the throw he made in
Remember the throw he made? Running to his left, threw to his right. It was unbelievable. Oh my God, Aaron Rodgers off platform. That was the key word that year.
Right.
What about Trey Lance or Jordan Love? Arm talent, special. Well, do they play quarterback? Oh. Even Mac Jones worked out more than all of them. Justin Fields, off platform, cannon arm, athlete. Can he drop back to pass and stay in the pocket? Oh, struggles with that. Look, I'm not saying these quarterbacks won't work in the NFL. Of course they'll work. Justin Fields works to an extent. It's not ideal, but it works.
It needs more talent around.
Dak Prescott works.
Yep.
Josh Allen's the exception. He breaks the rule. Cam Newton broke the rule. Jalen Hurts now developed into his best season as a pocket passer this year. Was unbelievable. MVP type season. I'm not writing them off. What I'm telling you is, when you spend a first round pick on a quarterback, if it's going to be a project, you got a lot of balls.
Yeah.
Because most teams don't draft a quarterback at 6 and sit him, let alone in the top 10, top 12. It rarely ever happens. I want to say in my lifetime, I only recall Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and that's it. Those were the only two that sat day one in year one and came back the following year, took over the job, even though it took Aaron a little longer because of Favre. But the point was, they sat and then they became greats. Lamar sat his rookie year, was meh. Josh Allen sat his rookie year, but he came in midway through, so I don't really count that as sitting the whole first year.
And by the way, random thought.
Go for it.
If I'm the Ravens and you make a trade with Atlanta and you get their first round pick and you're picking at, what do they pick, 8 or 9? I'd have to double check.
Atlanta picks 8, not 9.
Yeah,
Carolina's
if you're
9.
picking 8, Anthony Richardson, I mean, the team's essentially already built around Lamar Jackson. Imagine, for Richardson, too, he'd have to sit. We acknowledge that. But I think it'd be a great situation there in Baltimore as well. So we'll see. Richardson will be a top 10 pick, I believe.
That's a reach for me. But do you remember this?
He will.
I remember you guys having Scott Bischoff on here saying how great Malik Willis was, and you agreeing with everything he said. Remember that? Remember when we said Malik Willis should go number 2 overall? It's my favorite time of the year.
Yeah, okay. I'd go back and watch those shows.
Buddy.
When Scott was telling us about Malik, we were listening. Scott, I mean, we're not going to sit there
and I bashed him for it.
Yeah,
and I said, Scott, are you serious right now? He's like, Adam, you got to trust me. He's got the arm again, the same shit every year. He's got the arm talent. Adam, you can't teach arm talent. Adam, the athleticism. The guy could barely hand the ball off in the fucking NFL with the Titans. He got benched for Joshua Dobbs. You call me crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm racist. Fuck yourselves, all of you.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Well, not to throw Scott under the bus here, but it just...
No, Scott is not my problem.
No, but what we disagreed with, too, is he said the argument to take a quarterback is...
It's true, though.
But he said...
It's the most valuable position.
Well, he said that there's not a prospect that'll blow you away to where, like, you could get away with taking Malik Willis. We took Aiden.
Well, no, Aiden blew me away.
Pretty damn good.
Sauce Gardner blew the Jets away.
Yeah, those talent.
Garrett Wilson blew the Jets away.
Yeah, that's
Chris Olave blew the Saints away. No. I think there are prospects.
Like the draft wasn't that deep. I mean,
no, that was off. And again, love Scott.
Yeah, he's great.
I can do this every year with all of you. Every year. For as long as the show is live, ever. We'll do this every year. You're going to come up to me, arm talent. It's the same shit every year. And you know why Malik Willis and everybody who wanted him graded him in the first round. I already brought this up earlier, you dickheads. Because you get the fifth-year option on the quarterback, and that's what you want.
Absolutely.
It's the only reason, and it's the most important position in football. It is the most important position in football. You look at the defensive side of the ball for all the important stuff that has to happen on the defensive side of the ball for your team to have success. Who's winning without a quarterback in the NFL right now? I'll wait. Nobody. Who's competing at the top level? Nobody. That's why everybody is willing to reach and lose their jobs to try and get their hands on a quarterback. Because it alters your franchise's direction completely.